from those two hadiths. And we said that ruling is what? That it's haram, that it's permissible. That is what? Permissible. That's the asl. It could be a time in which it's mandatory, in which a man goes to a fitna, or his desires for one reason or another are stirred up. And he has to fulfill his desires in a permissible manner. In the what? The halal way. And his wife says, I'm missing. I'll be missing for another 6 days. That's a problem. So Islam has allowed him one way or another, if it's not the whole entire total thing, but one way of him fulfilling his desires, releasing that tension. Everybody understand this? As Ibn Qayyim speaks about it in detail. This is reality. This is what? Reality. This is reality. Everybody clear on this? Right. Khairan, inshallah. What other fawaid do we take from those two hadiths? Imran. Riyadh. Nafis. Tayyib. Back to you, Khalid. No time for slow pokes in this class.
One of the benefits that we took from this hadith is
get your answer ready right now. Everybody get the game now? Get your answer what? Ready now, while the next man is under the gun. Naam?
We talked about the word mubashara.
Mubashara. Tayyib. And what's meant by the word mubashara. And we said that this translation, fondling, isn't the best translation at all. Tayyib. What other fawaid? Back to the original question, Khalid, but now Sharif's turn. That's a fa'idah, but not pertaining to these two hadiths. What other fawaid did we get from those two hadiths? Outside of the ruling of menses.
You can't have vaginal intercourse with your wife while
that is impermissible for a man to have vaginal sexual intercourse with his wife while menstruating. Tayyib. Jamil. What else? Other fawaid.
The Imam Nawawi said that some of the ulama said
Nafis. Too slow. Too dull. He didn't sharpen it properly. Fadl.
We learn about postnatal breathing.
Go back to these two facts. The question was clear. Riyadh. What other fawaid pertain to these two hadiths? Not the other things. Tfaddal.
Commanding the wife to wear a
Tayyib, khair inshallah. Let's move on with tonight's class. Right, Abu Sharif? That's enough of that, right? Waste of time. If we don't make what? Review. That's just too late. You can't go, you got into a fight, you go home, you pull out your self-defense mechanism. It's too late. You got jumped already in the alleyway. He beat you up, kicked you in your face, took your money. You disgraced the Muslims. Muslims are weak. Right? I would say it's sweet. Now he's going to try to attack somebody else now, a Muslim. It's too late now. You had the opportunity to fight back. Khairan, inshallah. Moving forward. An-Nawawi rahimahullah, he says regarding the second type of mubashara, the second category, the second meaning of mubashara, al-qism al-thani, al-mubasharatu fima fawqa as-surrah wa tahta al-rukbah bil-dhakar أو بالقبلة أو بالمعانقة أو اللمس أو غير ذلك وهو حلال باتفاق العلماء وقد نقل الشيخ أبو حامد الإسفرايني وجماعة كثيرة من الإجماع على هذا وأما ما حكي عن عبيدة السلماني وغيره من أنه لا يباشر شيئا منها بشيء منه فهو شاذ أو شاذ منكر غير معروف ولا مقبول ولو صح عنه لكان مردودا بالأحاديث الصحيحة المشهورة المذكورة في الصحيحين وغيرهما في مباشرة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فوق الإزار وإذنه في ذلك بإجماع المسلمين قبل المخالف وبعده ثم إنه لا فرق بين أن يكون على الموضع الذي يستمتع به شيء من الدم أو لا يكون هذا هو الصواب المشهور الذي قطع به جماهير أصحابنا وغيرهم من العلماء للأحاديث المطلقة وحكى المحاملي من أصحابنا وجها لبعض أصحابنا أنه يحرم مباشرة ما فوق السرة وتحت الركبة إذا كان عليه شيء من دم الحيض وهذا الوجه باطل لا شك في بطلانه والله أعلم. He says, number 2 is for a man to touch, feel, caress, quote unquote, rub, fondle, بما, he says, فيما فوق السرة وتحت الركبة. He says that which is above the navel and beneath the knees. Above the navel and what? Beneath the knees. He says, everybody with me here? We here or not? Tayyib. An-Nawawi rahimahullah, he says, the second category is what, Riyadh?
Above the navel.
Above the navel. Her belly, her breast, her neck, her face, her lips, her ears, anything what? Above the navel. Everybody clear on this? He then says, وَتَحْتَ الرُّكْبَةِ, and beneath her what? Her knees, including her shanks, shins, feet, ankles, toes. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? We got it or not? You sure? Moving forward. An-Nawawi rahimahullah, he then says, listen very carefully to his words. He says, بِالذَّكَرِ, such as a man touching any part of his wife's body from above what we just mentioned, or beneath what we just mentioned. He says, بِالذَّكَرِ, with his penis. أو بالقبلة, kissing her. أو المعانقة, hugging her. أو اللمس, touching her, rubbing her. أو غير ذلك, or anything what? Anything other than that. He says this is halal, according to all of the ulama. According to what? All of the ulama. He then says, and there are many scholars such as Abu Hamid al-Isfaraini and many others who mention that there is ijma', that it's permissible for a man to touch and enjoy his wife from one of those two directions. Pay close attention now and don't rush. We didn't get into the third category, that which is beneath those two. Beneath the navel and above the knees. Right now I'm just talking about from navel up and kneecap down. He says there's ijma'. And he goes on to mention, some weak difference of opinion, which is shadh, not even considered to go against the ijma'. And he mentions a further details with regards to blood. Let's say if some blood, one way or another, falls upon her in one of those two places, from above the navel and from what? Beneath the knees. He says that's also permissible as well. That's also what? Permissible as well. Khairan, inshallah. Tayyib. Let's move forward. Everybody clear on that? And as we said last night, from the fawaid, the side benefits from this issue and from these hadiths. Pay close attention now, Khalid. This is a hybrid way of studying. We have the authentic sunnah. We have the classical, traditional explanation. The difference of opinion, the ijma'. Go back to that what? The chart in your mind. Everybody clear on this? And you blend together and you marry the two together until you have an unstoppable force. Hadith, fiqh, what the Salaf said before Imam. Everybody understand this? And you become well-rounded and thorough in your understanding of fiqh. Everybody got this? Hadith and fiqh, fiqh and hadith. Everybody clear on this? He says, the third category. Oh, tight. Before we move into the third category, as we said last night, from the side fawaid of this are certain modern day issues or things that are seen to be modern day issues, as we said last night, that people often ask about. Everybody clear on this? Such as masturbation, such as oral sex. Question says, is it permissible for a man to masturbate by himself or a woman to masturbate by herself? Some may say, is it permissible for a man to masturbate in front of his wife? Or the opposite. Is it permissible for the wife to do that to the spouse, etc.? Everybody clear on this? That's included in this what? In this issue. In this issue. Concept of oral sex as well is also included in what? In this issue. Above the navel, below the knee. Everybody understand this? Moving forward. Al-Qism al-Thalith. The third category of mubashara. The third meaning of al-mubashara. He says here, al-mubasharatu fima bayna as-sunnati wal-rukba fi ghayri al-qubli wal-dubur. وفيها ثلاثة أوجه لأصحابنا أصحها عند جماهيرهم وأشهرها في المذهب أنها حرام والثاني أنها ليست بحرام ولكنها مكروهة كراهة تنزيه وهذا الوجه أقوى من حيث الدليل وهو المختار والوجه الثالث إن كان المباشر يضبط نفسه عن الفرج ويثق من نفسه باجتنابه إما لضعف شهوته وما لشدة ورعه جاز وإلا فلا وهذا الوجه حسن قاله أبو العباس البصري من أصحابنا وممن ذهب إلى الوجه الأول وهو تحريم مطلقا مالك وأبو حنيفة وقول أكثر العلماء بنهم سعيد بن المسيب وشريح وطاووس وعطاء وسليمان بن يسار وقتادة وممن ذهب إلى الجواز عكرمة ومجاهد والشعبي والنخعي والحكم والثوري والأوزاعي وأحمد بن حنبل ومحمد بن حسن وأصبغ وإسحاق بن راهويه وأبو ثور وابن المنذر وداود. وقد قدمنا أن هذا المذهب أقوى دليلا واحتجوا بحديث أنس الآتي اصنعوا كل شيء إلا النكاح إلى آخر كلامه رحمه الله. Number 3, pay close attention, is for a man to touch his wife, to feel his wife from that which is beneath the navel and above the kneecap. Beneath the navel and what? Above the kneecap, including what? Her behind, her vagina, her thighs, up into the what? The knee, down to the, and up to the what? Everybody clear on this? He says, في غير القبر والدبر, outside of the vagina and outside of the anus. Anything that doesn't pertain to one of these two places on her body. Everybody understand that? That's the third category. The next branch in your tree, Jameen, and your chart, and now you have to break it down even further. This is the third issue. What do the ulama say about this issue? He says there are 3 views regarding the permissibility or the impermissibility of enjoying your wife in this area of her body while she's menstruating. 3 views. Everybody understand this? We have what? 3 views. What was the first category of mubashara? Huh?
Whether or not you can have intercourse or not.
What was the first category from last night we mentioned? The first meaning. Moving forward, we didn't make a review once again. He says here, rahimahullah, it's for a man to touch his wife in any place on her body from beneath the navel, above the knee, as long as it isn't in the vagina or the anus. And there are 3 views of the ulama, and he says, ashabina, the Shafi'i ulama, and others as well, regarding the permissibility or impermissibility. Number 1, he says the most famous of these views in the Shafi'i madhab is that it's haram. It's the first view, that's what? Haram. In other words, there's nothing that you can touch, rub, feel, grab, squeeze between the navel and the what? The knees. That's the first view. Everybody understand that's the what? It's the first view. He then says, number 2, that it isn't haram. It's permissible, but it's disliked. It's disliked. Makruh. And he says, in this view has the strongest dalil behind it. Number 3, it's permissible as long as the person can control himself. However he controls himself. That's the next branch, next category. It's permissible as long as you control himself. And under the meaning of control oneself, different branches. Number 1, his desires aren't that what? Aren't that strong. He just needs something simple. Everybody understand this? Quick, something simple. Everybody understand this? Number 2, or he has a great deal of piety. He knows what's permissible, what's impermissible, and he has his nafs under what? Control. Not in a feast, just his nafs just run wild. Do whatever he wants to do, say whatever he wants to say. But he has his nafs what? Control. He has the leash. See a guy walking down the street with a strong dog. How does he have the dog? The leash is wrapped around his hand, tightly. No matter how strong the dog is, he controls the dog. Everybody understand this? He controls his nafs. No, you can't do that. Yes, you can do this. Everybody understand this? They say that it's permissible with these conditions. Khairan, inshallah. As far as those ulama who held the first view that is what? Haram. Then he says they are, number 1, Imam Malik. Imam Malik held that view. So if you consider yourself to be a Maliki, he says number 2, Abu Hanifa also had that view, that it's haram, absolutely. Nothing between the navel and the knees. He says, وَهُ قَوْلُ أَكْثَرُ الْعُلَمَاءِ, and it's the view of most of the scholars. Most of the scholars have the view that it's what? Haram. From them, from the Salaf al-Salih, is Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Shurayh, Tawus, Ata, Sulaiman ibn Yasar, Qatada, and others. As far as those ulama who have the view that it was permissible, then starting from the Salaf al-Salih is Ikrimah, rahimahullah, Mujahid, Sha'bi, Nakha'i, Al-Hakim ibn Utaybah, Sufyan al-Thawri, Al-Awza'i, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Muhammad ibn al-Hassan, Shaybani, Qasim, he says Asbagh, Ishaq ibn Rahaway, Abu Thawr ibn al-Munzir, Dawood ibn Ali al-Zahiri, and many others. They have the view that's what? Permissible. That is what? Permissible. So we said 3 detailed views. Number 1 is totally haram, for obvious reasons. That he touches her thighs, the next thing you know, he falls victim to shaitan. Everybody understand this? I gotta have it right now. Can't control myself. He forgets, he loses instinct. The second view is that is what? Permissible. Which one? Huh.
It's makruh.
And so if it's makruh, then it's what? It's permissible. It's still what? Still permissible. Everybody understand this? And the third view is that is what? With what? As long as he does what? As he controls himself. Everybody clear on this? An-Nawawi rahimahullah then says, وَقَدْ قَدَّمْنَا أَنَّ هَذَا الْمَذْهَبْ أَقْوَى دَلِيلًا. He says, and we previously stated this is the strongest view. This is the what? It's the strongest opinion. That is permissible. وَاحْتَجُوا بِحَدِيثِ أَنَسٍ الْآتِي إِصْنَعُوا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا النِّكَاحِ. And they use as an evidence the hadith of Anas ibn Malik, that's going to come later on, in which Anas radiallahu anhu narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked about menses. He was asked about what? About menses and avoiding women, and he says, "Isna'u kull shay'in illa nikah." He said, do everything except for what? Except for vaginal intercourse. Isna'u kull shay'in. Whatever you want to do, as long as you do not enter your wife in the normal way and in the normal what? In the normal manner. Everybody clear on this? Everybody clear on this? Khair inshallah. Moving forward, he then says, قالوا وأما اقتصار النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في مباشرته على ما فوق الإزار فمحمول على الاستحباب والله أعلم. He then says, and they also say, when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم told her to put on an izar, he says that proves that it's recommended and not mandatory. He told the women to put on the izar out of preference, and not saying that it's what?
Mandatory.
Everybody clear on this? Khairan inshallah. And there are many other benefits that we take from this. Okay? Or just the concept of yakfi. Moving forward. He then says, rahimahullah, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ تَحْرِيمَ الْوَطْءِ وَالْمُبَاشَرَةِ عَلَى قَوْلِ مَنْ يحرمهما يكون في مدة الحيض وبعد انقطاعه إلى أن تغتسل أو تتيمم إن عدمت الماء بشرطه هذا. He says بشرطه هذا مذهبنا ومذهب مالك وأحمد وجماهير السلف والخلف. وقال أبو حنيفة إذا انقطع الدم لأكثر الحيض حل وطئها في الحال واحتج الجمهور به أو احتج الجمهور بقوله تعالى ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله والله أعلم. Another very important issue is those who say that it's impermissible to have vaginal intercourse while she's menstruating, which is the ijma' of the Muslims. That was the first type of mubashara. That was the first qism. Is that it's totally what? Haram. Which is in the aywa, in the actual private area. Khayr inshallah. He says, and those who hold the view that a man cannot touch his wife and so on and so forth, he mentions another issue, and that is with regards to these things being impermissible at the time of menstruation. It's haram for a man to have vaginal intercourse with his wife at the time of what? Menstruation. Those who say that a man cannot touch his wife from the knee and the navel, from between the knee and the navel, they say that's haram at the time of menstruation. All the way up until she makes a ghusl or performs tayammum, when it's permissible for her to perform tayammum. In other words, there's no water, it's extremely cold, or any other reason which allows a person not to perform. Everybody clear on this? They say that it's haram. Everybody understand this? He says, and it's the view of most of the ulama, Jamahir al-ulama. As for Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, then he says it's permissible. He says what? She doesn't necessarily have to make the ghusl. He says لِأَكْثَرَ الْحَيَض, for the time that passes by most of the menstruation. If her menses is 6 days or 7 days, Then it will be permissible to have intercourse with her. She didn't make a ghusl until what? Akthar. 4 out of 7. 3 out of 5. And some ulama, they say that the Hanafi madhab is permissible to have intercourse with her at the time of menstruation stopping. The ulama who hold the view that she must make a ghusl first. Now we're not getting into the issue of hygiene, the issue of preference. That's not discussion. We're talking about permissibility or halal. Allah says, they ask you concerning menses. قُلْ هُوَ أَذًى. Say, it is adha. It's harmful, annoying. فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ. Avoid women while they're menstruating. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوهُنَّ حَتَّى يَطْهُرْنَ. Allah says, do not go near them until they become clean. فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ. Allah says, and when they become clean, in other words, make the ghusl. فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ. That's one qira'ah. And another qira'ah says, فَإِذَا تَهُرْنَ فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ التَّوَّابِينَ وَيُحِبُّ الْمُتَطَهِّرِينَ نِسَاؤُكُمْ حَرْثٌ لَكُمْ فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّ شِئْتُمْ وَقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ الآية. Allah says, فَإِذَا تَهُرْنَ. And when they become clean, that's another qira'ah now. And it's the reason why I'm mentioning this. The first qira'ah, the mashhur qira'ah, is إِذَا اغْتَسَلْنَا. They've washed. تَطَهَّرَ فَاتَّهَّرُوا. And the second qira'ah, tahura, that someone became clean and didn't make ghusl. Everybody understand this? To show you how a student of knowledge does not have to learn the qira'at and the different various qira'at. Some of the people of knowledge may say that a student of knowledge, it's nothing wrong for him to know them from here and there, but he should not busy himself and tire himself and exhaust his precious time and learning all of the qira'at if he doesn't specialize in the Quran, because it's extremely time consuming and it does not pertain to his speciality. He studies fiqh, he studies hadith, he masters aqidah. The person who's a reciter of the Quran, a muqri, a teacher of the Quran, who focuses on that, that's his what? That's his job. But he must know the qira'at that pertain to the halal and haram, such as this one. Because these two qira'ah, the ruling now what? It changes. Qira'ah of Hafs says what? فَإِذَا تَطَهَرْنَا. When they wash. The other qira'ah says tahurna. إِنْقَطَعَ عَنْهُنَّ الْحَيْض. When the menses stop before they wash. Everybody understand this? And this is from the conditions of a mujtahid, as the ulama of Islam explain. You cannot be a mujtahid, you can't be a strong student of knowledge, someone who can independently research and independently determine a view until you know the different qira'at that pertain to ayatul ahkam, the rulings of the Quran. As far as يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْرَدَ يَحْسِبُ, that doesn't pertain to what? Hukum. It doesn't pertain to what? Well, it's clear qira'ah. It doesn't pertain to what? Hukum. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? Khairan inshaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's move forward. The next chapter says, باب الاضطجاع مع الحائض في لحاف واحد. حديث سلمة رضي الله عنها قالت بين أنا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مضطجعة في خميلة حط فانسللت فأخذت ثياب حيضتي فقال أنفستي؟ قلت نعم فدعاني فاضطجعت معه في الخميلة. حديث سلمة رضي الله عنها قالت وكنت أغتسل أنا والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من إناء واحد من الجنابة. Next chapter says to sleep along with one's menstruating wife under one blanket. To sleep along with one's menstruating wife under one blanket. Hadith number 170 says, narrated Salama radiallahu anha, while I was laying with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam under a woolen sheet, I got my menses. I slipped away and put on the clothes for menses. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, have you got your menses? I replied, yes. He called me and I slept with him under the woolen sheet. Hadith number 171, narrated Salama radiallahu anha, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and I used to take the bath of janaba from a single pot. From a single pot. The chapter heading says, باب الاضطجاع مع الحائض في لحاف واحد. Laying down, lying with a mincing woman under one blanket. In other words, the permissibility of doing this. The permissibility of doing this. And is also another ruling of menses. Another what? ruling of menses, from the ahkam of menses. Not pertaining to the woman who's menstruating in her ghusl, not making salah, not fasting. Can a mincing woman cook your food? Naam. Can a mincing woman do this, so on and so forth? None of these things, no. This. Now it's still talking about a man and his wife. The permissibility, not of touching your wife, rubbing your wife. The permissibility of lying with her under one what? One sheet, one blanket, one cover, one duvet, or whatever you want to call it. One comforter. Khairan inshallah. And that it is permissible. Some people may say it's haram. You can't lay with her. She's not making a salah. Angels don't come near her. She's impure. The najasa will fall on you. Whatever the case may be. This chapter heading teaches us that it's what? Permissible. Everybody clear on this? So there's a branch and another ruling of what? Ahkamul hayd. And then we said yesterday there are many different rulings of hayd, of menses, pertaining to the woman. Certain things that she cannot do. Certain things that she must do. Certain things recommended for her to do. Certain things that are disliked for her to do. And there are ahkam of menses that pertain to husband or even others. But let's say specifically the husband. Things he cannot what? Such as what? Vaginal section, of course. Such as what? Mentioned last night in detail. Divorce her. We mentioned this last night. Khalid. A man cannot what? Divorce his menstruating wife. It's haram. It's haram. Doesn't mean that the divorce is invalid and doesn't count. That's a what? Further piece of your what? I understand this? But that's a ruling. That's a hukum of menses. He cannot divorce her while she's what? Menstruating. Everybody clear on this? Another issue is the permissibility of a woman getting a khula while she's menstruating. That's a different ruling. Everybody clear on this? Is it permissible for a woman to sit in the masjid while she's menstruating? Can she make the tawaf? Can she read from the Quran by heart? Touch the Mus'haf Sharif? Etc. What? Etc. Does she have to make up the missed salah? Does she have to make up the missed days that she didn't fast? Etc. So this ruling pertains to for a woman and a husband, man and woman together, lying in one bed. And not only lying in one bed, but under one what? One sheet, one cover, because that's a different ruling. Whereas people may be allowed to sleep in one bed, but they must have different what? Covers. As some of the ulama explain the hadith, وَفَرِّقُوا بَيْنَهُمْ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. After you separate your children, at the age of what? 7. And then you tell them to make the salah. If they do not make the salah, you physically discipline them at the age of 10. And it says, وَفَرِّقُوا. Split them up, separate them, فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. In other words, they are allowed to sleep in one bed, but they need to have their own blankets. You separate them in the bed and they're not separated from a different totally, in contrary or contrast to popular what? Belief. You say you have to have their own bed when they turn 10. That's not necessarily the what? What the Prophet ﷺ said nor intended. Everybody clear on this? If it's best, that's one thing. You have enough space, bunk bed, race car bed, now Barbie bed, different levels. Now you remember your race car beds, Riyadh? Don't try to act like you tough, call it like you don't have race. You used to have a race car bed. Allahu alam, akhi. Here we go. The tough guys. Crayola bed, huh? Okay. Warrior bed, right? Barney bed. Khairan, inshallah. Al-Muhim, the concept of not only laying in the same bed with a menstruating woman, but keeping the same what? Same blanket, under one blanket. Everybody understand this? Khairan, inshallah. Hadith number 170. It says that Salama radiallahu anha narrated, بين أنا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مضطجعة في خميلة. We were laying down under the blanket, and my menses, they what? They came all of a sudden.
170 or 171?
Hadith 170. 170. Moving forward, she says, Hittu. I got the menses. Fansalaltu. I ran away. I snuck away. I got away. Everybody understand this? I slipped away. She was embarrassed. She was shy. And then she went on to put on her what? Clothes that she wore? During the menses. Everybody understand this? The Prophet ﷺ, whether he saw her, knew her, and nufisti, did you get your nifas? This shows menses being called what? Nifas. Like nafis. طيب. Coming from 3 letters. Noon, fa, and what? Sin. Nafasa, nafusa, nufisa, nafis, nufasa, nafis, nafisa, nafsun. Huh? Min nafsin wahida. Huh? The concept of what? Nafs. No, we didn't say that nafis that necessarily means bleeding. But we're talking about the breakdown of the word in what? In Arabic. Be careful. Huh? طيب. You can take that one for free. And if he's good on your nerves, you say what? Ya akhi. No nufasa today. Allahu alam. Don't lie, right? Khalid? طيب, خير inshallah. Let's move forward. It says here, so I slipped away and put on my specific clothes for missus. And the Prophet, he asked me, Anufisti? Did your missus, did your nufasa come? Qultu naam. I said, yes. He says, come. And we continue to lie down, what? In the khamila, under the woolen sheet. The next hadith, hadith number 171, that me and the Messenger of Allah ﷺ used to make a ghusl. We used to wash up with each other in one what? One pot, one cauldron, one basin, one way of washing up. Now, you may ask the question, what does this hadith have to do with the previous hadith? What did them washing up from janaba have to do with sleeping under one blanket with a menstruating woman? Is this a glitch in the book, or is there a deeper meaning to this hadith? Khairan inshallah. Let's go back to hadith number 170. The main faida is what? Like the chapter heading states, the appropriateness of the chapter heading in the hadith is extremely clear. That it's what? Permissible. So now we have a madhab that says it's makruh for a man to sleep under the same blanket with his wife. It's makruh. And then you have a hadith that you read in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim with a proper explanation. What is your job as a Muslim to do now? Follow this. And in this instance, if you clearly understood the hadith, and you knew you were taught that hadith was authentic, you didn't have no doubts, no insecurities, you're clear, it will be haram for you to say, I'm Hanafi. In this instance, is what? La yajuz. Not saying that that's Hanafi madhab. I'm making a hypothetical example. Hypothetically speaking, the Hanafi madhab says it's makruh or it's haram for a man to sleep under one cover with his wife while she's menstruating. And you are a general layman Muslim, but you heard the class, it was clear, Lulu Marjan, so on and so forth. It'll be your responsibility to do what? And it will be haram, unlawful, for you to say, I'm Shafi'i, I'm Maliki, I'm fatwa of Sheikh bin Baz, Uthaymeen, Albani, la yajuz. As far as if you didn't hear about the hadith, or you were unsure, that's what? Totally different story. Everybody doing this? Not like the ignoramuses that we say without any shyness. Malish. Don't glaze the hawk. Those who like it, those who don't like it, have a nice life. As those juhal who say, no, you can't dip and dab and mix. La, if you're Hanafi, that's it. If you're Shafi'i, that's it. If you're Maliki, that's it. You're written in stone. Don't even pick up Sahih Bukhari. Or as another ignoramus said once, Sahih Bukhari will mislead you. He said Sahih Bukhari will lead you astray. Right? Sahih Bukhari will lead you astray, but this 10-volume Hanafi fiqh book with 50 different views, the Imam, this, that won't lead you astray. Maliki fiqh won't lead you astray. In which they say you can eat dog meat. It's permissible to eat dogs. Not Imam Malik, but some of the Maliki fiqh, and they say this, it's permissible to eat dogs. That won't lead you astray, but Sahih Bukhari will. Allahu Akbar. And many other statements like this that people make, who have no respect for the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and no respect for his sunnah. And it's very unfortunate for some students of knowledge who feel sympathetic and apologetic for these people. Oh no, you shouldn't say that. Oh no, that's too harsh. Oh no, you shouldn't call them names. Oh no, tayyib. But just let them, just spit on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. That's okay. Have compassion for them, but not compassion for the kutub of the sunnah. Everybody clear on this? So those people who say that you have to follow this madhab from A to Z to the T, it's haram for you to mix and dip and dab. If you're a Hanafi, you come from a Hanafi country, you have to follow it from A to Z. And if you find a clear, lucid proof, dalil, kashams, like the sun in the sky with no clouds, they say you can't what? You can't follow because you're not mujtahid. It's not your job to pick and to dip and to dab. And it's unfortunate that they say things like this. And also those people who are on the other side of extremism. There's no good in any madhab. There's no good in any of the four imams. There's no good in any study of any book of fiqh. It's haram to study any fiqh. It's haram to learn from anybody of a madhab. It's haram to follow a madhab, to study a madhab. Absolutely without any detail. And they wish every 9 to 5 layman Muslim to just pick up the book and just be mujtahid. That's also a what? That's an error. But it's not as bad as the first error. Because at least the people are directly with call in their times in which it's permissible for a person to follow a madhab. Permissible may be mandatory for you to make taqleed in this issue. It could be a time in which it's haram for you to think. It's haram nafis for you to deduce your own ruling. Everybody clear on this? If you're not properly trained and properly qualified, don't try to figure it out yourself. Follow what he said. And there are other times in which it's mandatory for you to do what? Follow the dalil. That's clear, simple, plain in front of your face. Everybody understand this? Not an issue that's different of opinion, that's confusing, that's intricate, clear as day. Everybody understand this? The hadith is in Sahihain. Fulan said it's da'if, Fulan, clear as day. So there are details. Those who say absolutely yes are wrong. Those who say absolutely no are what? They're wrong. They're what? It has to be a tailor-made suit, tailor-made garment. Everybody clear on this? Khairan inshallah. So that's the main ruling from the hadith of 170. Another faida we take from this hadith is the permissibility for a woman to have more than one overgarment. It's not haram. As some husbands may try to make it seem. You can't have another overgarment, you only need one overgarment. I would say just one. I have the latest sneakers, boots, jerseys, colors, jackets, but you only need what? You practice zuhd. And I'll be what? GQ or whoever. Everybody understand this? And there are many brothers who talk like this, unfortunately. Wallahi. It's not an exaggeration. Many brothers, they tell their wives, eat beans and rice, water and bread, follow the salaf. And I'll go out and have a cheese steak or lamb and rice. Brisket of beef. That's my dinner. You follow Imam Ahmed. Wallahi, you'll be shocked. Many brothers will come in the masjid, Salaam alaikum, beard, thobe. They, Sheikh, would you like some lamb chops? Let's go out and eat. And he treats his wife like this, like a prisoner in her house. He has the finest things in shoes. Her shoes have holes in the soles. And he says, that's what? That's zuhd. Divorce the dunya. Don't follow the dunya. Don't enjoy the dunya. We follow the salaf in his household. Wallahi, it's sad. So this hadith proves that it's permissible to do what? Have more than one garment. And there's nothing wrong with having a garment for a specific or special what? Purpose. Khair inshallah. Another benefit we take from this hadith is the amount of respect that they had for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whereas she was his wife, she was fine, beloved to him, but she didn't want anything harmful, anything annoying, anything negative to come near Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from her menstruation. She ran off, she slipped away. Nor should she just get up, but she slipped away. She had a little bit of shyness. Everybody understand this? She was a little bashful. So this shows how they respected the Prophet ﷺ. They respected him. And that a woman should respect her husband. And she, obviously, their husband and wife, their friends, their partners, insha'Allah ta'ala. But there's also a level of shyness that should remain. There's a level of what? Shyness that should remain. To an extent. To an what? To an extent. Another fact that we get from this hadith, qala anufisti, is the permissibility of asking a question which could be a bit embarrassing. Asking a question which could be a bit in detail. Anufisti? Some women, they may not even want to tell their husbands when they're mincing. They may not tell their husbands. And they'll just say, they'll just make a signal. Or, I'm not praying. Just like this. Simple as that. He asked her specifically and frankly. Khairin inshallah. Qultu naam. She said yes. The last fact that we take from this hadith, or many more, is the hikmah of the Prophet ﷺ and his beautiful character. Whereas he knew that she was embarrassed, he knew that she was mincing, things were different, things had changed, and he says, come and lie next to me. In other words, he didn't want her heart to be broken or to be upset. And he didn't show if he was offended or anything like this. And this is the hikmah of the Nabi al-Kareem. Tatyib al-khatira. He said, Tatyib al-khatira. Is to soothe someone. Come here. Come give me a hug. Everybody understand this? You go to someone, a brother, come drink some tea with me, akhi. Bismillah. Everybody understand this? you try to win them over in a permissible way according to the sunnah. He says, come lay what? Come lay with me. Everybody understand this? And it also shows us, this hadith also teaches us, Sharif, pay close attention for your future, inshallah, that it's from the sunnah for a man to be smooth and romantic. It's from the sunnah for a husband to be what? Smooth and romantic. He said, come lay next to me. Everybody understand this? And everything just doesn't have to be, give me my rights. As many young men may think, give me my rights. That's it. And that's it. La. Got to be smooth and got to be what? Romantic. Chill. Hold my hand. Let's take a walk. Come sit with me. Abu Sharif, right, Sheikh? Tell the young guys about this, Sheikh. Savior, huh? Allahu a'lam. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله محمد جزاكم الله خيرا.